How the U.S. economy will perform in 2023. The U.S. economy is one of the largest and most influential in the world, but it is also affected by global events and trends. In 2023, the U.S. economy will face several challenges and opportunities, such as inflation, interest rates, trade, COVID-19, climate change and geopolitics. How will these factors shape the economic outlook for the U.S. in 2023? One of the main concerns for the U.S. economy in 2023 is inflation, which is the general increase in the prices of goods and services. Inflation reduces the purchasing power of consumers and businesses, and can erode confidence and growth. In 2022, inflation reached its highest level in 4 decades, driven by supply chain disruptions, labor shortages, pent-up demand and fiscal stimulus. According to the Federal Reserve, inflation was 7.1% in November 2022, down from a high of 9.1% in June 2022. To combat inflation, the Federal Reserve has been raising interest rates, which are the cost of borrowing money. Higher interest rates make borrowing more expensive and discourage spending and investment. The Federal Reserve expects to raise interest rates 4 times in 2023, reaching 2% by the end of the year. This would be the highest level since 2008, before the global financial crisis. However, raising interest rates also has risks for the U.S. economy. Higher interest rates can slow down economic growth, increase unemployment, reduce corporate profits and trigger financial instability. Moreover, raising interest rates may not be enough to tame inflation if other factors persist, such as supply chain bottlenecks, wage pressures, and global commodity prices. Another important factor for the U.S. economy in 2023 is trade, which is the exchange of goods and services with other countries. Trade affects the U.S. economy by creating jobs, increasing competition, lowering prices, and expanding markets. Trade also affects the U.S. economy by influencing exchange rates, trade deficits, foreign investment, and geopolitical relations. In 2023, the U.S. economy will face both opportunities and challenges in trade. On one hand, the U.S. economy will benefit from the recovery of global trade after the COVID-19 pandemic. According to the World Trade Organization, global trade is expected to grow by 5% in 2023, after growing by 9% in 2022. The U.S. economy will also benefit from new trade agreements with other countries, such as the United Kingdom, Japan, and India. On the other hand, the U.S. economy will also face trade tensions with some of its major trading partners, such as China, Europe, and Mexico. The U.S. economy will have to deal with unresolved issues such as tariffs, subsidies, intellectual property rights, digital taxes, and environmental standards. The U.S. economy will also have to cope with the impact of regional trade blocs that exclude or compete with the U.S., such as the Comprehensive and Progressive Agreement for Trans-Pacific Partnership, CPTPP, and the Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership, RCEP. A third factor that will affect the U.S. economy in 2023 is COVID-19, which is the disease caused by a new coronavirus that emerged in late 2019. COVID-19 has had a devastating impact on human health and economic activity around the world. COVID-19 has caused lockdowns, social distancing measures, travel restrictions, and business closures that have disrupted supply chains, reduced demand, and increased unemployment. In 2023, the U.S. economy will continue to face challenges from COVID-19. Although vaccination rates have improved significantly in 2022, reaching over 80% of adults by December 2022, new variants of the virus have emerged that are more contagious and resistant to existing vaccines. According to the World Health Organization, WHO, there were over 200 million confirmed cases and over 4 million deaths from COVID-19 worldwide by January 2023. The U.S. economy will have to balance between protecting public health and supporting economic recovery from COVID-19. The U.S. economy will have to adapt to changing consumer behavior and preferences due to COVID-19. For example, some consumers may prefer online shopping over physical stores. Some workers may prefer remote work over office work. Some travelers may prefer domestic destinations over international ones. The U.S. economy will also have to cooperate with other countries to fight COVID-19 globally. The U.S. economy will have to share vaccines and medical supplies with poorer countries that lack access to them, support international organizations that coordinate pandemic response, and participate in global initiatives that prevent future outbreaks. A fourth factor that will influence the U.S. economy in 2023 is climate change, which is the long-term change in the Earth's climate due to human activities that emit greenhouse gases. Climate change affects the U.S. economy by altering weather patterns, increasing natural disasters, damaging infrastructure, disrupting agriculture, threatening biodiversity, and affecting human health. In 2023, the U.S. economy will face both risks and opportunities from climate change. On one hand, the U.S. economy will have to deal with the costs and consequences of climate change. According to the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, NOAA, 2022 was the second hottest year on record, after 2016. The U.S. economy also experienced several extreme weather events in 2022, such as heat waves, droughts, wildfires, hurricanes, and floods. These events caused billions of dollars in damages and losses, as well as deaths and displacements. On the other hand, the U.S. economy will also have to take advantage of the opportunities from climate change. The U.S. economy will have to invest in clean energy, green technology, low-carbon transportation, and sustainable development. The U.S. economy will also have to lead and cooperate with other countries in addressing climate change. The U.S. economy will have to implement the commitments made under the Paris Agreement, which aims to limit global warming to well below 2 degrees Celsius above pre-industrial levels. The U.S. economy will also have to participate in the COP28 conference, which will take place in Abu Dhabi in November 2023. A fifth factor that will shape the U.S. economy in 2023 is geopolitics, which is the study of how geography and politics affect international relations. Geopolitics affects the U.S. economy by creating allies and enemies, influencing security and stability, affecting trade and investment, and shaping global governance. In 2023, the U.S. economy will face a complex and dynamic geopolitical environment. The U.S. economy will have to deal with the rise of China as a rival superpower that challenges U.S. interests and values in Asia and beyond. The U.S. economy will also have to manage its relations with Russia, which remains a nuclear-armed adversary that interferes in U.S. elections and supports authoritarian regimes. The U.S. economy will also have to cope with the instability and violence in the Middle East, which affects oil prices and regional security. The U.S. economy will also have to address the threats from North Korea, Iran, and other rogue states that pursue nuclear weapons and ballistic missiles. The U.S. economy will also have to cooperate with its allies and partners in tackling global issues. The U.S. economy will have to strengthen its ties with Europe, which shares common values and interests with the U.S. but also faces challenges from Brexit, populism, and migration. The U.S. economy will also have to enhance its engagement with Asia, which is the most dynamic and populous region in the world but also faces tensions from territorial disputes, human rights violations, and nuclear proliferation. The U.S. economy will also have to support its neighbors in Latin America and Africa, which offer opportunities for trade and development but also suffer from poverty, corruption, and conflict. The U.S. economy is a powerful and resilient engine of growth and innovation, but it is also exposed to various factors that can affect its performance. In 2023, the U.S. economy will have to navigate through inflation, interest rates, trade, COVID-19, climate change, and geopolitics. These factors will pose challenges and opportunities for the U.S. economy, requiring adaptation and cooperation. How well the U.S. economy responds to these factors will determine its prospects for 2023 and beyond.